Hey everybody, welcome back to the Lightside Music Reactions. This week it is Independence Day week, and so in honor of the 4th of July, Independence Day in the United States, we are doing patriotic themed songs this week. And so I'm going to react to a brand new artist for me. This is one I have never heard of before. The artist is Overtime featuring Caleb Jacobson. So I don't know if Overtime is a band. I don't know what type of music this is, what genre it is. Know absolutely nothing about it, but I just did a search on YouTube for patriotic songs, and this was one of the first ones that came up that I wasn't familiar with. So I thought, hey, let's go ahead and check it out. But of course, because of the patriotic theme, we're checking out their song "Divided We Fall," and this is the first single and title track released from, it says, their upcoming album "Divided We Fall." But of course, this was released on September 11th, 2019. So September 11th, on that anniversary of a very significant date in United States history. And so on the anniversary of Patriot Day, they released this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Check this out. "Divided We Fall," Overtime featuring Caleb Jacobson. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about this a little bit. Okay, now obviously now I know this is kind of a rap hip hop tour thing. I guess hip hop isn't the right description. Hip hop is more of a laid back kind of fun sort of thing. This is like and it's not a gangster rap either. It's a modern type of rap sort of thing, where you've got Caitlin Curtis and Struggle Jennings sort of thing. You got the spoken lyrics. It's kind of rap style. It's the modern version of that. And so it's not my exact cup of tea. This isn't my go-to type of music. But if it's got a good message to it, that's a plus in my book. So let's take a look at some of these lyrics here. Okay, the chorus started out, "This is the home of the brave, but there's so many people full of greed. No more order because we're busy, be led on." I don't know if that's a typo. I missed that. I'll have to listen to it on the next chorus when I get to it. Because we're busy, be led on. That doesn't make any sense grammatically. But let's let it slide for now. "But the fact that we can't control what we see, I'm stuck between tomorrow and next week." Okay, we can't control what we see. And that's really discouraging, disheartening for a lot of us. I feel it. I understand where you're coming from. We live in a world where there's just so much going on around us that is beyond our control. And it seems like in recent years, it's more than usual. We live in a world naturally that's beyond our control. But there's just so much craziness and just insanity out there that is just off the walls. That it almost feels like we're living in what the Bible calls the end times, or at least the beginning of it, because things are just so chaotic and so upside down, and society is just embracing it, and it drives a sane person mad, because the world is insane. The inmates are running the asylum. And when we can't control the world to make it make sense, then that can be really discouraging, disheartening to a lot of people. We can't control what we see. I'm stuck between tomorrow and next week. Both of those are in the future. So he's living in the future, worrying about not only what's happening tomorrow, but something between what's happening tomorrow and next week. So, you don't want to live in the past, and you don't want to dwell too much on the future. But here, he is just, he's not even stuck in one of those things. He's in the middle of it, in the middle of the future, the tomorrow and next week. And you can't do that. You gotta live in the moment. Don't dwell on the past. You learn the lessons of the past. Somebody once wisely said that those that don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. And so that's why it's important for us to understand and to know our history. When we think of patriotic themes, as we do on patriotic holidays like we're observing this week, the 4th of July, that's one of the lessons that we have to learn is that history is so important. We have to learn the mistakes of the past. That way we don't repeat them. But at the same time, you can't dwell on the past. You have to move into the future. And by doing that, at the same time, you don't live in the future either, worrying about tomorrow. Jesus said, don't worry about tomorrow. And of course, when I quote Jesus, I'm a pastor. And so these ideas are going to come to me naturally. And so when I talk about this isn't me trying to evangelize to you per se, but it's just where my mind naturally goes. There's just so many good lessons that we can get from the Bible that really relate so much to us today. And so I encourage you, if you're looking for answers, that's a great place to start. Is to just look to Jesus, look to the Bible for a lot of the answers, and they'll be there. But we don't dwell on the past. We don't dwell on the future. We are to be prepared and to look out for the future. Jesus warned us about that. But at the same time, you don't dwell on the future. You don't live in the future. You live in the present, but you learn from the mistakes of the past so that you don't repeat them, and you be prepared for the future. Then once you've learned from the past and prepare for the future, then you live in the present. And there's so many people I know that I'm friends with that are just, this world has got us so confused and got us so much in despair that things are just so crazy that it messes with our mentality. Like I said earlier, it almost makes us go insane because of the insanity. The inmates are running the asylum. And those of us that are sane, the world is gaslighting us and making us feel like we're the ones that are insane. Well, no, the world is insane. The world is upside down. And the Bible warns us of the future of that as well, that there will come a time when what is right will be perceived as wrong, and what is wrong will be perceived as right. And the important thing is for us to be grounded in the truth. That way, when these things happen as we are seeing them, and as the day grows nearer, the end times, we're going to see it get even worse. And when that time comes, we'll be prepared. We'll be well grounded in reality and in truth. And that way we won't be, driven insane by the gaslighting of an insane world. But here he says, I'm stuck between tomorrow and next week, but it's right where I'm at. It is. The worrying about the future and the fear of the future is where so many of us are at. That's what's best for me. Actually, it's not what's best for you, living in that. And but I think that's the point he's getting. It's not really what's best for him. But as it stands, all the problems that we can't let be, that's why divided we fall in the land of the free. Divided we fall. Jesus said that also in Matthew. Let me look this up real quick. Matthew 12:25. Jesus said, a kingdom divided against itself will be brought to desolation. A house or city divided against itself cannot stand. And that's a historical quote as well. I think it was Patrick Henry, one of our founding fathers, that said basically the same thing. He said, we need to trust God because united we stand and divided we fall. And our country, our nation, there's so much division right now that's just tearing us apart as a country and as a nation. I mean, we're in an election year, and so naturally that's going to be part of it. Every 4 years in the United States, you have a big major election, and politics is so divisive that our country is pretty much divided simply because things are just so extreme. The extremes are so far against each other. You've got the far left, you've got the far right, and these extremes are battling against each other, and those of us that are caught in the middle feel like we're the insane ones. It's just craziness, and so we've got to pray for our country, folks, because like the song's saying here, united we stand, but divided we fall. And there's so much in this world that wants to divide us and tear us down. He says, I'm sick of all the anger, the hate, the haste, the danger. Things we seem to think we are really not that major. There's problems in the world that we don't hardly understand, yet and I'm going to censor, beep out some of this language here, we B-word, about them talking about we got the master plan. But man, the problem is we don't really even love each other. He nailed it on the head right there. We don't love each other. And, this is why I think it's important for us to embrace Christianity and to embrace the message of Jesus. Because Jesus taught us to love each other. Don't just love your friends and your neighbors and the people that you call friends. They asked Jesus, who is your neighbor? Well, who is my neighbor? Well, everybody is your neighbor. When he said love your neighbor, it means everybody. We all inhabit this world together. And even our enemies, Jesus told us not to hate them. They talk about that in the Caitlin Curtis and Struggle Jennings song. That I don't even hate my haters. And we can't hate our haters. We have to love them with the love of Christ. And Jesus said to love your enemies and pray for those that persecute you. So even those that are against us, in this world that are tearing us down, we need to pray for them because they are living souls just like we are. They are pawns to the devil, perhaps, but we're not called to hate them. We're called to love them and to reach out with them with understanding and compassion and try to draw them in to the side of righteousness, to the side of holiness, to bring them onto the team of being righteous and being what's right. And we have to live in this world together, and so we need to reach out to them in a way that's going to draw them in and not push them farther away. It's a cold world. It's time to face the facts. Yes, if we don't step up and make a stand, we're going to stay on our, what? Man can't turn on the news without a poisonous agenda. That's right. For the longest time, I just completely swore off Facebook, social media. I used to be on social media all the time. I'd go on Facebook, Twitter, all these. I'd go on them, all throughout the day to find out what's going on in the world around me. And it just got to the point to where it was so depressing, so discouraging, that I got to a point to where I completely got off Facebook and all these other social media sites. And the only time I would go on Facebook would be once or twice a week just to get the headlines and find out what was going on in the world. Just so I'm not completely ignorant of what's going on. You have to be aware of what's going on around you. But don't dwell on it. Don't read all the hate comments and stuff like that because it'll drag you down. And it was dragging me down. I was so depressed and discouraged by what I was seeing going on in the world around me. And so I had to tune out all the hate, all the media, just craziness. It's a poisonous agenda that they're pushing. And if you find yourself in that situation to where it's affecting you and getting you down and discouraged, turn it off. Tune out for a while. And it got to the point to where I would turn off the social media and just go on it, once or twice a week instead of all day long, throughout the day, several times. And I would just go on there to get the headlines and to update our church's Facebook page and our social media and stuff like that. And I didn't dwell on it. And it did wonders for my mental health, I'll tell you that. Now I'm got back to the point again to where I've got my mental health built back up and I can handle that again. So I'm getting a little bit more into it now. Um, but yeah, if it's starting to tear you down, step away from it for a while. Turn it off so it doesn't tear you down. I don't trust the politicians as much as I don't trust the system. That's true. Both sides of the aisle, there's craziness out there. And, the thing about politics is we will elect our leaders and we'll have these young, new rising stars that we elect. And they're just so bright and bushy-tailed and ready to take on the world. And then they get into the swamp of Washington, D.C., and they get caught up in the red tape and all the crazy processes they have to go through, the compromises they have to make in order to get anything done. And before you know it, they're just like the others. And so pray for our politicians, pray for our leaders, so that they continue to stand for what's right and not bow down to pressure to become part of the swamp, to change their surroundings instead of letting their surroundings change them, just like the Bible calls us to do, to not be conformed by the world, but to transform it, to transform the world into what Jesus has called us to be. Man, I used to think that country meant that united we stand. Now drop and stop our flag as if it's only just a brand, and I ain't cool with that. I'm not either. I'm not either. I mean, you could say what you want about free speech, and there's, I'm all for free speech. I'm a free speech absolutist. In other words, that old saying, I may not agree what you have to say, but I will fight to my death your right to say it. I believe in that. And I believe that you don't fight ideas by suppressing speech. You fight ideas by increasing speech. If somebody says something that's wrong, what they call misinformation or disinformation, if you censor it and suppress it and hide it, then all you're doing is raising suspicion about yourself. You're losing your own battle because you are presenting yourself as somebody who doesn't have a strong enough argument that you're willing to stand and to debate it and to take it on. Now, that doesn't mean that we all have to be master debaters. We don't all have to be able to get out and speak eloquently and to be able to have a one-on-one debate like some people are. But at the same time, the Bible says for us to know, I'm trying to think of the exact quote, to know why it is that we have the hope that we have within us, to know why we believe what we believe, and to be able to take a stand on that. When somebody asks us why we have those beliefs, why we have that faith, why we believe what we believe, that we'll be able to stand and be able to tell them what we believe, so that they can hopefully understand our position, and maybe we can draw them over onto our side. All of us, it's important for us to be able to do that. And so when you get into stomping the flag, burning the flag and sort of stuff, there's a difference between free speech and free expression. And it's not speech because you're not actually talking, but it is a form of expression. And that's where you get into the gray area. I believe in your right to oppose the United States and what we stand for. But I also believe that as a country, we have a right to defend our country as well. And what that flag represents, it's really so offensive to me and to others like me, because we know what that flag stands for, what it represents. Like the Lee Greenwood song, that flag stands for freedom, and you can't take that away. You can't take that away. It still stands for freedom. People will say that the flag stands for hate, that it stands for racism, bigotry, all these kind of things. That's bullcrap. That is absolute bull. The flag stands for freedom. It stands for the land of the free and the home of the brave. And people died so that we could fly that flag. People died so that we could live in the land of the free and the home of the brave. that we wouldn't have to live in tyranny under dictators and tyrants that would run and rule our lives. We have a form of government that is a representative republic with democratic values, in the sense that we choose our form of government. And the form of government we have chosen is one that is not majority rule. It's not one of these things where you got the majority says, well, we're going to wipe out the minority, then that stands because the majority want it. That's not the way our government works. We have a system of laws, rules, regulations, and we elect our leaders to represent us and to help us to make the laws and the rules and the regulations that we are ruled by, to make modifications when necessary, and to be a free society. And it's very important for us to stand up for that. That's what the flag represents. That's what America is truly about. And that is what makes it perhaps the greatest nation that ever existed. But anyway, people stop the flag. He says, I ain't cool with that. If you cool with that, okay. That's where I pause. So let's go ahead and get back into it. All right. So I don't want to say the word. There's a reference to the big event that has been big in our society for the last 3 or 4 years. We say crap with our mask off. So that's a dig on those that were pushing the mask sort of thing. You know what I'm talking about. Now, once again, I understand people, are different. They have different ways of dealing with things. I believe you should have your choice how to do things. That's freedom. That's what living in a free society is about. I'll do things my way, you do things your way. If we disagree with each other, then I'll live my way, you live your way. I'll do my thing, you do your thing, and just live and let live. I've got a few libertarian tendencies in me, and leaning more toward the conservative side. But when it comes to that, I'm a patriot and I'm proud as H. I'm a country boy and I know it well. Proud American. Proud American. We stand for what's right. And so, once again, this is revealing the type of music this is. It's, what do they call it? There's a couple different different descriptions, phrases I've heard to describe this. Country rap. And what are the two descriptions I'm trying to think of? One of them is hick hop. Like hip hop except for hicks, country folks. And I can't think what the other one is. If you know what it is, what I'm trying to think of, go ahead and comment down below. What would you describe this type of music? Country rap sort of thing. What are the colloquialisms that we have that describe that? But anyway, he's exposing that as that's what type of music is. He says, I'm a patriot and I'm a country boy, and yet he's singing the rap music. So it's a blending of the two cultures together. And this is cool. This is something new that we've discovered with, like I said, Struggle Jennings, and now this group here. And so this is a rising genre, I guess. And definitely interesting. Let's get back into it. Okay, that rhyme wasn't exact. Okay, then back into the chorus. Yeah, but that is what it is. We're trying to live our best life. We're trying to just get by from day to day, and that's a bad combination right there. It's a bad situation to be in, to where you're struggling, trying to get by, trying to live from day to day. Jesus said in John 10:10 that He came to give us life and to give it abundantly. We shouldn't be just existing, but we should be truly living our best life. That's what God wants for us. And if we're living in this world right now, it's just so easy to not be able to live your best life, because we're just so caught up in what's going on, the craziness in the world around us. And so he's broken inside. He's lost in his hope. There's so many of us that are like that. And so if you are like that today, I have a message of hope for you. I have a message of encouragement for you. There is a way out. Step one is, if, like I said earlier, if this craziness in the world is dragging you down, turn it off. Tune out for a while. Work on keeping yourself, mentally stable. Don't let this crazy world gaslight you into becoming crazy yourself. Stand strong in your faith. Turn to Jesus. Turn to God, because in this world of craziness, there's nowhere else to turn. There's nowhere else to turn, literally. It's just so crazy out there. And this world is just so upside down. It is so easy for us to get lost in despair. But God has hope for you. Find a church that offers you not just a false hope, not just false peace, but offers you the truth with love, that stands strong for what is true and presents it in a way that is loving, is compassionate, and even reaches out to the lost, to our enemies. Open doors for all people. A lot of times we're, as Christians, and religious leaders, we're tempted to lock the doors on our enemies, to separate us from them, to keep them outside, and to keep the church people inside and the lost outside. And that completely misses the point of what God has called us to do. We are to go out into the world and not be conformed by it, but to transform it, to reach out to a lost and dying world, and to reach out to the pawns that Satan is using, the human element that he has deceived into doing his work, to reach out to them with love and compassion and understanding, and to present to them the truth in a loving manner. It doesn't compromise the truth, don't get me wrong, but presents that uncompromising truth in a way that, instead of pushing them away, that draws them near, that makes them to think, I want what he has, I want what she has, I want that peace, that love, that compassion, that ability to rise above it all, to stand united and strong. I want that in my life. How do you have that? How do you get that? And we need to be able to respond to them in a way that shares our testimony, our faith, and says, I have God in my life, and that's why I can make it from day to day. And you can have it too. I quoted Larry Norman on a video recently, just last week. Why don't you look into Jesus? He's got the answers. That is the answer. Looking at Jesus. This song is my freedom and my battling cry. We've got to stand strong. The land of the free and the home of the brave. It won't stay free, and it won't be the land of the free and the home of the brave if we don't continue to stand strong, and if we don't stand united. Don't let the world divide us. Don't let it drag us down and defeat us by turning us into the opposite sided coin as them. Two sides of the same coin. If we respond in kind with the type of warfare they're using against us, then we are just simply playing into their game, and it's a losing battle. We need to stand strong for what's true and fight darkness with light. Let's go ahead and finish out the song real quick. It's a shame. The video here, it's showing like a flag in the dirt, and he picks it up, dusts it off, and carries it away. Very, very nice video, well put together. Good song. Little bit on the edgy side as far as lyrically. A few words there I'll have to censor out, but overall a positive message. It's dwelling a lot in the darkness. Sometimes you have to do that. Our songs can't all be happy-go-lucky. Sometimes we have to, talk about the bad things that are going on in the world. But the key is to always leave hope. And I think that's what they're trying to do with this song, is to say, yeah, things are really bad out there. And that way people can relate to it and say, I understand where you're coming from. I know what you're feeling. I feel it too. But there is hope. There is an answer. And we need to provide that answer. Let them know what it is. And this world offers many different answers. Psychology, different things that the world offers. But as far as I'm concerned, the answer is Jesus. That's the answer. Well, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, comment down below. Let me know what you think of this group. And head down to the description. There's a link to their video over there. You can go check it out yourself and see the video that I was talking about here. And let me know what you think of that. Pretty nice imagery on there. Really cool. It's kind of depressing, the thought that they're presenting there. But there's a glimmer of hope in there. And that's what I want to leave you with today. That glimmer of hope. That we can stand united in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Anyway, happy Independence Day week, and have a great week. We'll see you next time. Once again, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and recommend to me what else you think I should react to. And if I react to your suggestion, I'll send you a shout out. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. See you guys.